Hey there, and welcome to the Do Life Big podcast. This podcast is going to be your jam if you want to live to your full potential and don't believe in half-assing anything in your life. If we want to do life big, that means we've got to get out of our own way because we only have this one shot to make it awesome. I'm your host, Kathy, and I'm a mom of three whose BFF is cold brew, a retired school teacher turned online entrepreneur, and an author. I'm loud, bold, and will always keep it real. I'm determined to live my best freaking life possible, and I'm here to help you do the same. I'll be packing this podcast with tips, motivation, inspiration, and strategies to finally get you where you want to go. And we will have a ton of laughter along the way because, let's be honest, we can't ever take ourselves too seriously, right? I'm so excited you are here with me today. Now let's get this party started. Hey, my friend, what's up? And welcome back to another episode of Do Life Big. I'm so excited to have you here once again. Today, we're going to be talking all about consistency. This is one of probably the most important things in order for you to achieve any goal that you're working towards, whether it's in business, in your relationships, in your health. Consistency is always king. And I remember when I first started my first business about 9 years ago, and I knew absolutely nothing about business. All I had was my teaching background because I was an elementary school teacher, and then I was going to be getting into business and running an online health and fitness business, and I knew nothing about it. And I remember my business mentor at the time, he told me, Kathy, listen, if you can just be consistent with these business tasks that you need to do every day to grow your business, then you will succeed. Your success will literally be inevitable. And so it was either be consistent and succeed, or don't be consistent and then never have the success that you want. And so he planted that little seed in my head 9.5 years ago about the power and the importance of consistency. And I remember when I first started that business, I got these two books immediately right off the bat, and maybe they'll help you out too, but one of them was called The Compound Effect, and the other one was The Slight Edge. And I read them so fast because I was so eager to learn the secrets to succeeding at reaching these goals that I had in my business. They were incredible books. I highly recommend that you pick them up and listen to them on Audible if you want, or grab the real copy and you can highlight through them. But they were a game changer for me because the hardest part really for anyone is being consistent, because the thing is, you can't see the results that you want right away. It takes so much patience, right? And so just adopting this mentality of, I'm going to show up a little bit every day, even on the days that I don't want to, building that self-discipline and acting as if you were already that six-figure entrepreneur, acting as if you already had that success, going into it with that mentality, and making the promise to yourself that even on the days when you don't have the motivation, you're going to do at least something to move the needle in your business, because something is always better than nothing, right? And so I would put the kids to bed at night, and they were really little back then. I only had two little kids at the time. Landon, I think, was like 2.5, and Kirsten was like 1. And I'd put the kids to bed at night, and I'd sit down at my island back when I lived in Massachusetts, and I wouldn't sit down to work on my business until about 8 or 8:30 at night. And I'd sit down every night at the edge of the bar stool with my knees hitting right up against the underside of the counter with a coffee or an Energize in hand, and I would get to work. And I'd only focus on doing the things in my business that were income producing activities. Because in business, there's a lot involved. There's a lot of different pieces to the puzzle. There's a lot of shiny objects. And it's really easy to get sidetracked and distracted doing the busy work to make yourself feel like you're working, but you're not actually doing the things that are going to produce income. You're not actually doing the income producing activities. And so I made sure that when I sat down every single night, that I was focusing on those few things that would grow my income. And I would always do those things first. And I'd work for as long as I could, but I stayed consistent. And I did that every night. And that's how I was able to build a six-figure business in my first 11 months from the ground up, from not knowing anything about business with zero income to six figures in my first 11 months. I wasn't doing anything like crazy. I'm not a unicorn. It's consistency. Consistency is king. But I think that a lot of times what really trips people up, and I'm also speaking about myself personally here as well, because I did go through this at one point in my business journey, is what happens is anytime that you have these goals or things that you're trying to achieve in life, a lot of times we start out, all excited and we're gung ho and we're doing it because it's just so new. And we have no problem initially showing up, putting in the work toward what we want, right? But then all of a sudden, life happens like it always will. And then that thing that you were working toward gets put on the back burner. And then you start to become inconsistent. And we start to make excuses for why we can't show up to do the work that we know we need to do to have the success that we want to have. We have all these expectations of all the things that we should be doing, and you aren't able to spend as much time on your business as you'd like or as you previously did. We see all the things that we don't have time for and are like, screw it. And then we don't bother at all instead of just saying, okay, listen, I know I can't do what I was doing before, and I can't do all of those things right now, but that's okay. What is that one thing that I can do today to move my business just a little more forward? Or if you're not in business, what's that one thing that I can do today that's going to inch me closer to where I want to go? And I remember this happened to me when we were going through this phase where the kids just weren't sleeping at night. I feel like this is the story of my life forever, even to this day. Oh my God. But I could no longer stay up until 11:30 or 12 at night working my business because I just couldn't function because the kids were now in this awful phase where they were waking up all night long and I wasn't sleeping and I couldn't function. So I started to have to go to bed earlier just so that I could get some sleep, which meant that I couldn't do what I was typically doing most nights to grow my business. And I had to keep reminding myself that this is the phase that I'm in right now in my life and in my business, and that there will always be something trying to derail me from going after my goals and my dreams, but that no matter what, I need to show up and do what I can to keep inching that needle forward in my business because it wasn't going to grow itself, right? Whatever it is that you're going for right now and you're trying to achieve, well, it's not just going to happen on its own, right? It's going to require you to show up and be consistent, taking the right actions every day. So that way those results become your reality. But I'm even in this phase right now with Keegan, waking up every single night. And I just have accepted that this is what I'm capable of doing right now for my new business that I'm running, and that's totally okay. Right? You got to be okay with where you are in your journey, be honest with it and just realize that there's all different phases. And when he goes to preschool in August, I'm going to have more time then, and it's fine. And a lot of times, too, I know if you're a high achiever like I am with high expectations for yourself and your life, is that you want these results and like you want them freaking right now, right? Like you don't want to wait. You don't have the time to wait. You're eager and you want it right now. But we have to keep reminding ourselves, and I have to do this too every day. I have to constantly remind myself to just enjoy the journey and to be grateful for how far I've come and to do what I can do with the time that I have available right now. And you need to do the same thing as well. So when I look back at the beginning of my journey or toward any goal or anything that I was trying to work toward in my life, I had 5 ways that would help me be more consistent. And I want to share them with you. I'm going to share with you my top 5 ways to be more consistent. So the first thing is this. Number 1 is to work off of a list, right? Don't just wing it. Don't just wake up every day and wing it. Have a list and have the top 3 things that you need to be doing every day to move you closer to your goal, and then and then do them no matter what, every single day. That's number one. Number two is to be intentional with the time that you have. So if you have this list that you're working off of these top three things, it's really easy to be intentional because you're going to sit down and you're going to have that list right in front of you. You know what you need to do today to get yourself closer to where you want to go, to help yourself be more consistent. Versus if you just wake up every day, don't have a list or anything, then you're just kind of winging it. It's really, really almost near impossible to be intentional with your time when you don't really know what the heck you're supposed to be doing. This is where you can get really distracted and you can start scrolling social media and you can start just doing all these other mindless things because you don't have a list to work off of. So those two kind of feed off of each other. Number one, having that list, top three things. And number two, being intentional with the time that you do have. Number three is focusing on how far you've come versus looking at how much further you need to go. And I even fall victim to this too. I do. Even almost 10 years in as an online entrepreneur, sometimes I fall into that trap too, where I'm like, oh my gosh, but this is where I want to go. And I have so much further to go. And how much longer is this really going to take me? I'm doing all that I can. And then I always have to remind myself, hey, listen, Kathy, rein it in a little bit. Look at how far you've come. Be so proud of yourself for how far you've come and focus on being grateful for that, because then you're going to be more inspired to continue to show up and take the action that you need to take to move you further down the road. Number four is to stay focused on your journey. What I mean by that is it's so easy, especially with social media these days, but it's so easy to get distracted and to look at what everybody else is doing and to compare yourself. And comparison is the thief of joy. It really is. And so it's so easy to go on social media and see all the successes and all the highlight reels of what everybody else is doing. And then look at yourself and be like, womp, womp. What the hell is wrong with me? Why is this so hard for me? Why is this taking me so long? What am I doing wrong? I should be so much further along than I am. But you need to remember, your journey is your journey. And there's no one else that has the same situation, that has the same journey that you are on right now. And everybody has different things going on in their life and different amounts of time. You can't compare yourself to anybody else. So stay focused on your own journey. Keep your head down, keep the blinders on, and stay focused to you and only you, one foot in front of the other, focusing on what you can do to move yourself closer to where you want to go on your journey. And number five is to just remember to keep it simple. Way too many people, they just overcomplicate it, you know? And I feel like that's why sometimes people don't even begin because we're just overthinking and overcomplicating everything. And your success can be so simple if you just focus on staying consistent a little bit every day, no matter what. So those are my top 5 ways to help you be more consistent. I hope that they will help you out too. Write them down, have them on a sticky note in front of you so you can keep reminding yourself about them because it's easy to get distracted and forget about them. And then next thing you know, you go down this rabbit hole and then you're feeling sorry for yourself and then you're getting nowhere. And I don't want you to do that. This doesn't have to be just about business either. Like I said, this could be for anything that you're working toward because honestly, I've never met one successful person who hasn't been consistent to what they were working toward. Consistency is king. Consistency wins over everything. It always does and it always will. You know, when I think about my son Landon, he just turned 11 and he has been trying to grow his YouTube channel. And he's been creating and editing all these videos and posting them up there. And I remember talking to him about how he wants to get more subscribers to his channel. And he's like so obsessed with this. And I told him, well, the key to it is to just make sure that you're putting up a video every day. It's just consistency. If you keep being consistent with it, then you'll get more and more subscribers. But if you just do like one a week and then you take 2 weeks off and then you do one more and then maybe you do 5 more, but then you take a month off, then it's not going to grow. Consistency is key. And so he has been so consistent and he was so excited the other day because he went from getting like 1 subscriber every now and then to all of a sudden like 7 subscribers in one day. And so just that power of consistency and just how powerful it is. It's really the secret sauce to the success that you want in any area of your life. And so here's the crazy thing too, though. If you've already started, then you got to be damn proud of yourself, because guess what? You're already way further ahead of most people, because most people, literally 99% of most people, don't even start. And then the ones who do start, most times they don't even stay consistent and they just give up and quit. So if you've already started, you're already ahead of so many other people. And this can be towards business, sports, relationships, health. It's all the same. Consistency will always win. Having that consistency helps you become more reliable too. It gives you more credibility and you're more trustworthy because people can depend on you. You're always there showing up. They know you're not going anywhere. So you have to continue going. No matter where you are in life right now, you can choose to start to become more consistent right now. Today can be a whole new day for you. Your key to the success that you want, it's just that simple. It's consistency. That's really it. But first, you need to actually start. So listen, this is my little love to you. If you're someone who's been sitting around waiting to begin, I'm talking to you right now. Okay? Listen, and it's only because I love you. You know that. But it's time to just go and do it and just go for it. You weren't put here on this earth to just be mediocre. None of us were. But society wants us to fit in. Society wants you to fit in. But you weren't born to just be vanilla and fit in. So whatever that thing is that you need to start, you need to just start it. And then when you do start it, just don't stop. I hope today's episode really helped you out today about how to become more consistent with going after your goals in your life, whether it's business, relationship, health and fitness, whatever it is. My top 5 ways to be more consistent, just to recap. Number 1, work off of your list, have those top 3 things written down and do them every day. Number 2, be intentional with the time you have. Number 3, focus on how far you've come. Number 4, stay focused on your own journey. Keep those blinders on. And number 5, keep it simple. And again, if you're someone who may have missed this in the past and you struggle with those self-doubt thoughts and those thoughts of negativity of, am I even capable of this? Can I even do this? Do I really have what it takes? Listen, you've got to go to kathyreuter.com/think this, not that. I'll have it in the show notes. It's a completely free guide, and it has a list of all the most common limiting beliefs that people think and what you can think instead. Half the battle is catching that negative thought on the spot and replacing it with a more empowering belief so that you can change the way that you think. So that way you are going all out, you're going after those goals and those dreams, and you are not standing in your own way. So I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. Thanks so much for tuning in. I think you're awesome. I believe in you. You know I love you, and I will see you the next time. Bye. Thanks so much for listening in. I really appreciate you choosing to spend your time here with me today. You totally rock. Hey, listen, if you loved today's episode, go ahead and tag me on social and go share this with a friend right now. Do it immediately before the day gets ahead of you and you totally forget. Couldn't be more pumped to be on this journey with you guys. Go make today awesome, and I will see you the next time.